everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Criminal Defense Show. I have joining me two very special guests today, Miss Caitlin Moody, Marketing Manager Extraordinaire. We love her. Her clients love her, and I'm so excited for you guys to get to meet her today. We also have Jeremy Cotton. He is a phenomenal attorney, criminal defense in Raleigh, North Carolina. He's actually Caitlin's client, and we are so excited to have him on here so he can impart some wisdom on all of you regarding his online reputation because it is stellar.
Good day, everyone.
Welcome. Well, good. Well, before we get into the nuts and bolts here, I already mentioned the reputation piece. That's the goal of what we're going to be discussing today on the podcast. We want to look into not just what makes a good reputation, but how to get it, how to build one. It's something we talk about a lot in the marketing world, and it's something that's easy to forget about, but you have to push forward. It has a tremendous effect on your business, as I'm sure you can attest to that, right, Jeremy?
Absolutely. It just, you get to a point where you get to a critical mass, and then, success just breeds more success, and, things never really get easier, but they can get better.
For sure. Well, before we talk about the reputation, I want to get a little bit of more information about you so our listeners can get to know what you're all about. So tell us a little bit about how you started your practice and what your practice is really geared towards in Raleigh.
Background, I was a professional athlete. I played baseball in the Pirates organization out of high school. That was realistically the only thing I ever wanted to do with my life, and I did it. Got retired at the ripe old age of 21. Went to undergrad, really had no clue what I wanted to do. And I said, my brother actually reminded me. He said, well, yeah, you've always liked investments and that sort of thing. Why don't you go do that? They have a degree at Campbell University. And next day I went down there and enrolled. Had no idea what trust and investment management was. Went to school, knocked that out, talked to a financial planner at the time. It was Wachovia. And I saw he had a JD after his name. And it just seemed interesting to me. So next day I went and bought an LSAT book, and then a couple weeks later took the LSAT, and I'm a lawyer now. So there really wasn't any, it was more or less a shotgun approach. But again, starting out, I had no clue what I wanted to do. I worked a couple of years during law school, and helped out at a criminal defense firm in Harnett County, North Carolina, which is one of the areas that I work, doing criminal defense work. Seemed fun. Was enjoyable. So that's what I decided I was going to do. Hung my shingle. It was just me starting out, start mailing letters, start getting some business, and then you try to figure out how to grow from there.
And you do primarily criminal defense work, and also traffic tickets are a big part of your practice. Is that right?
I will do felony work in Superior Court. It's fun. I enjoy the back and forth of that, and I love trying cases. But yeah, I'll do DWIs, the occasional felony. I certainly don't solicit that for them. If they're previous clients that call, people that I've enjoyed working with, yeah, I'll take that case though. But primarily district court.
Well, segueing into the online reputation, when you started with Scorpion, what was your online reputation like? How many reviews did you have? What sources were they on?
The heck of that question is, I don't know. I was told by several lawyers to be very wary of anybody selling SEO or online reputation management. It was minimal, to say the least. And the thing is I just didn't know what I didn't know. And that's been one of the honestly the best parts about working with Caitlin and Scorpion is with their back end. I have the ability to log in and I can see exactly what's happening on any given day. You can see what keyword searches are performing. I really don't. I couldn't even imagine going back to the way it was when I started.
Caitlin, do you remember what it was like?
When I initially met Jeremy, he already had such a great reputation. I think you had probably around 100 to 200 reviews, on Google itself. And over time, you've just absolutely exploded. Like you mentioned, you love the dashboard, you love the system, which I support that. I think you're spot on, like that it's all encompassing with everything. And I think you just use it to the best of your ability and grown with it, which is awesome.
It's really impressive that you've been able to acquire that many reviews, because something we commonly hear from people who have either been charged with a crime or dealing with a ticket. A lot of criminal defense attorneys say this. Now, I don't know if I agree with it because we have cases like Jeremy's, but they'll say no one wants to leave a review online because they don't want anyone knowing their name and that they got charged with a crime or that this thing happened to them. Mm-hmm. And they use that as almost an excuse not to do it. What do you think about that, Jeremy?
I can understand that sentiment, but have you asked them to leave you a review? You'd be surprised. I saw one today. It's just going to show their first name if you're talking about Google. And I think on some platforms you can leave anonymous reviews.
Yeah.
But they don't have to talk about the specifics of their case. Hey, great job, or an attaboy, or, was a professional. That's all we're looking for.
So you mentioned, Jeremy, that you sometimes you just got to ask. That's the first place to start. What other methods do you use to make sure that you're staying on top of getting reviews on an ongoing basis? And how do you go about asking clients for those and following up and all that good stuff?
Well, the thing is, obviously, first of all, you need to do a good job. That goes without saying. To communicate, and a lot of times, in certainly in criminal court, I assume it's the same in civil court as well. People just want to know what's going on with their case. They want to know that they're being looked after. Even with these quote unquote lower tier cases, people still want to know that, hey, my guy's solid. He's on top of this. Mm-hmm. They know what's going on with the case. So, just the more, I think, outreach that you can have, the more touches that you can have to your client. You just have to keep those people involved in what's going on with their case. And then, the more communicative that you are going into it. Yeah. If you request, a review from that person afterwards, sure. Why not? Some people did that. And then on the flip side of that, it doesn't matter how proactive you are with the communication and how great of a job you do. Some people just aren't going to do it. But again, at the end of the day, you have to ask the question. Just ask. You'd be surprised.
Yeah, absolutely. So do a good job, stay in communication with them, and ask. Probably the three most powerful things to keep in mind, right?
Absolutely.
What kind of system do you use to get them to review you? I know that there's some work that Caitlin's helped you with as far as like the platform that you use. So tell us a little bit about that.
Everything is done internally with Scorpion. So again, kudos to them. Basically, they're going to get, text message, then an email, just requesting a review, let us know how you like this, how your experience went with this. If you have multiple offices, you can differentiate which office actually worked the case. So it's a great tool that they've used.
So there's a stat that 85% of people are going to check 2 or more sources to look at reviews. Mm-hmm. So what are the sources that you have reviews on? Like which platforms?
Obviously the main one, elephant in the room is always Google. But number 2 would be, I would say, Facebook.
Caitlin, are those the sources that you typically recommend for everyone to be on? Are there any additional ones that people should keep in mind?
Yeah. I always think it's best to have, good reviews on any and all, directories or platforms that you're listed on. I would say the ones that Jeremy mentioned are probably the most important and the ones that I really want my clients to focus on. But, you want to make sure that maybe even Yelp, I know normally people aren't, I know normally people aren't like searching on Yelp for a criminal attorney. Occasionally we'll find that, and you just want to make sure that you have that same consistency across all your platforms. But I'd say, GMB, Google My Business, is probably going to be the most important. And I wanted to give you the floor to let you share how you made that just top notch. What was your process previous to Scorpion, and how have you transformed that over time to make you so successful with your reputation?
Initially, it was, wow. I can't even imagine again, I've already said that I can't imagine going back to 8 years ago, but initially everything was paper.
Wow.
We would have to mail, wait for people to mail or fax in waivers of appearance. And it's just as simple as some simple code have the ability to send your waiver of appearance, have that online.
Mhm.
We're able to look up their case. North Carolina has it's called the AOC website. We can look up anybody who has an active court case. You can tell them a little bit about their case. If they're ready to sign up, we just basically need some contact information, phone number, email address, driver's license information to pull a driving record, process a credit card. With the credit card processors, generally going to send them a receipt. From there, we have a link on that receipt that they can click to actually execute their waiver of appearance. Automatically comes back to my database. They get an emailed a copy. I go to court for my clients on the court day.
Yeah.
After that, we're good to go.
Yeah. I mean, you have such a high volume of cases at any given time. So what advice would you give to other attorneys for like managing a larger caseload?
Have a very good support staff. You're going to be in court all day, and people are going to want to talk to the attorney when they call. If you're doing criminal defense work, you need to be in court. So you need to have someone who is knowledgeable. Experience is a plus, but experience comes with time and repetition, but certainly knowledgeable and able to talk to these clients and put them at ease and let them know that you can help, and at least an idea of what you can do for them if you are representing them in court.
Right.
That's the main thing, because without that person answering the phone, reviews
Your
become
bottom
irrelevant.
line
You have no business.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you obviously put a lot of time and effort into your reputation. Now, I know why you do it. Caitlin knows why you do it. But for people out there who still might not really understand the gravity of their online reputation, for the folks in the back, tell them why you do it, why you spend so much time on this, and why you make it such a part of your daily protocol.
Well, again, I shop on Amazon just like everyone else. It seems like this day and age. And if I have two similar products, similar pricing, am I going to buy the one that has 16 reviews and it's rated 3.5 stars, or am I going to buy the one that has 900 reviews and it's rated 4.8? That's a no-brainer. Consumers, like you said, they're going to, 85% of people are going to check, at least two different sources. Why not be the one who looks better than your competitor? To me is common sense. The more positive reviews and positive feedback that you have, they're going to put you higher in a search return potentially. I don't know. Caitlin's the expert on that, but
you're the obvious choice. It's like making you the obvious choice for any.
Correct. Correct.
There is, a factor of good and positive reviews. Of course, Google wants to showcase, businesses that have great reputations. You want to make sure you're getting it consistent. Google wants to know that your listing is alive, that people are visiting your business, and that you're relevant. So I would say it definitely matters. It's not going to be the end all be all, but I always, recommend to my clients to keep pushing for that consistently. Don't fall off on it. You don't want to have your last review be 2 years ago. People are like, I need to know if this is still relevant, if this place still matters, if they're still good at what they do. I think Google definitely takes that into account.
One other thing I wanted to talk about, Jeremy, is the effect that the online reputation has had on your business, on your bottom line. Have you seen growth as your reputation has progressed?
The short answer is absolutely. This is not the best year to be talking about year-over-year returns. Another lawyer and I were talking about that. Yes is the short answer. Starting out, I mentioned, sending letters out to people. And that's, if I got, 10 phone calls in a day, 8 years ago, I thought that was a busy day. And it was only from, people getting my letters, and, they get letters from every other attorney in the county that's, does this type of work. And then when I first started with Scorpion, I was always worried, man, is this really worth it? Is this worth it? Is this worth it? Because still, it was the majority of my business was still coming from the letters that I mailed, but our phone call volume started to pick up. And, they notify you, obviously, when it's one of their leads. Wish I could show you my inbox.
Too much.
But now it's probably overwhelming majority of the leads and potential clients that I get are coming from some search that finds me online. And I'm going to keep doing it. Other lawyers are doing it. So, I mean, if you're not doing it as well, you're going to be losing out on business. So it's something I think is absolutely vital.
Right.
Caitlin, what can you tell us about responding to reviews, whether they're good or bad? Is that a recommended practice?
Yeah. Depending on, I feel like the volume of reviews that, a firm can get or any business, it can sometimes be difficult to respond to reviews in a timely manner, but, you don't always want to only respond to the negative ones. I really like to see business owners responding to both the positive ones and thanking their clients for the positive feedback and acknowledging that, they're putting the effort in to help this business grow. And, vice versa, it's really important to show that you care about negative feedback because it's just as important as positive feedback. You need to sometimes hear the things that you might not always want to hear in order to correct that and fix that moving forward. And again, acknowledging a negative review is just as important. And I always recommend it to my clients. It's number one step I say when they're like, gosh, I got this terrible review. What do I do? I'm like, let's respond. Let's talk about it. Let's, come up with a great response and just acknowledge the problem and take care of it that way. And normally people and new clients looking for that or looking for your services, when they go to that and they see that you've acknowledged these other people, you've told your side of the story, they're more likely to hire you and they feel more comfortable with the service that you can provide, even if there's a negative review.
I agree. I was looking up a restaurant, to-go food, obviously. That's the majority of what we're all doing now. But I saw a few negative reviews. In restaurants, it's a little different. Every piece of food they send out in the world isn't going to be amazing, but the business owner had a really well-crafted response to a negative review. And I thought, whoa, this is a really classy way to respond, and it improved my perception of the business, even though the review was negative. So you can really take those negative situations and turn them into a positive and find a way to make yourself look better to that potential client who might stumble upon that negative review.
Right.
Well, Jeremy, tell me a little bit about your craft beer brewery skills.
Oh my gosh. What skills? I'm much better at drinking them than I am crafting them at this point.
Come on, don't hold out on us. I know you've been playing around with these.
Yeah, but it's all of my gear at this point is stuck in my garage. It's something I got into first of this year, actually. But me, I'm a bit, I really have no, there's like low, medium. I have no medium. I'm either completely wide open or off. And I got completely into it. And so we're making, like IPAs. So I was, and again, off or wide open. So I start trying to make, Imperials and double IPAs, stuff with like the most alcohol content possible.
You really went for it.
Go
big or go home.
Yeah, absolutely. So, March comes around, we hear courts are getting shut down. So it's like, yeah, probably unnecessary I kind of shuttered it, but looking to get back into it.
Nice.
2021, you're opening your own
brewery.
There you go. Let's
go.
Just
get me out of 2020.
We're almost there. We're going to make it.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it has been such a pleasure having you both on here. Jeremy, you've been awesome. Thank you for telling everyone about your business and your background and how important reviews are and the difference they've made in your law firm. Hopefully they take a few of these things home and start implementing them in their practice.
It was my pleasure.
Of course.
All right, everyone. Well, that is it for today's episode of the Criminal Defense Show. We are signing off and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.